So let's talk about the most outrageous and cutting edge change in education, Project L.E.O, which will ultimately change the world as we know it. In the transition hypothesis, John Smart asks the question, if the universe is so infinite, why don't we see evidence of other civilizations and technology? And he comes to this beautiful conclusion that the complexity of intelligence eventually stops going to the outer space and starts going to the inner space. Children need more than just love. We must unlock their inner potential. Project L.E.O is the first of its kind, an educational university dedicated to childhood development by teaching through adequate neural wiring. Teaching does not start when your child is 5 years old, but at 4 months. And people that have money and are educated understand the importance of these first few years, and their children have the advantage. I'm here with Ricardo Rojas, Chief Neuroscientist of Neuronoetics. My name is Dusten Pecor with To Dual Inc., and much thanks to Mind Full of Ink.
Absolutely all learning is based upon neural wiring. That is, the neurons talking to each other. So every time they make a connection to talk, that's called a synapse. The neural wiring is all about increasing synapses. What I want to say to you, all adults in the world, is that this wiring does not happen in days. It doesn't happen in weeks. It doesn't happen in hours. It doesn't happen in minutes. It doesn't even happen in seconds. It happens in millions of 1 second. That's the speed at which this is happening. That's the speed at which learning is happening in the brain. And that's the speed to which the child wants to move. Since we don't know that, we haven't known that for hundreds of years, we adults, we are products of parents that did not allow that to happen. Okay? So the fraction of a second is the scale at which we must now learn to handle schooling and teaching. Now we're not appealing to a learning based on knowledge. We're appealing to a learning based on handling information through the adequate wiring. And actually the change is just beginning. So when we were taught, when I was taught, I was expected to vomit, to repeat exactly that the teacher said I should know. And now that's not the case anymore at all. We gotta go beyond that, because now it's a matter of being able to handle and process information and handle the logic that wields and puts the information together, and do that with some sort of intelligence. And that is way beyond knowledge whatsoever. So what we can produce in the world is an education such that we will be allowing the children's brains to be able to handle information directly through his own experience. The brain all the time answering, what does this experience have to do with me? So say a child who's able to answer that question in every experience, then he'll know exactly what is relevant and what is not relevant. Then from that point of view, we can actually raise very beautiful human beings, because they'll always be in touch with their own potentials, which the potential can only express itself by one knowing, what the hell does this have to do with me? When we deal with children, I'm a result of that. Parents are impatient, they're out of time, they gotta go somewhere else, they don't have time for our slowness. When we're a child, we're very, very slow with things because we're just learning. Everything is new to us. It's a cognitive process of being able to see every different moment. Even though you saw 1,003 times, you see something different, and the brain is putting a whole thing together for you. So the boy will naturally go after that, because that's what he's supposed to do. You see, for you to deal correctly with your son, you have to empower him every second of every blessed day. Okay? And what we do is something, it's not that. We don't empower, we disempower. We submit the child. We dominate the child. We say, my will is bigger than yours, so you're going to do what I want you to do. And that's not the way, man. It's been there for us. And look at us. I don't think we are adequate examples of what a human being can be. So they've made it very difficult for us, our parents, because now if we're going to go anywhere in our lives, we have dreams and want to make them possible, you must become a better version of yourself in order to make that possible. So what if we could give them an education to our children whereby they are already a better version of themselves all the time? And they're aligning their purposes and their contribution to the world with their intentions all the time, second after second after second. I'm a neuroscientist, and I specialize in the neurosciences of consciousness. I naturally talked this way, this weird way, in 1975, when nobody, I'm a biologist, nobody in my field was talking to consciousness. No way. I belong now to a group of about maybe 800, 900 different professionals in quantum field, in super string theory, in genetics, and genome, epigenetics, compared biology, all kinds of fields, where 900 of us are partaking of a project called Towards the Science of Consciousness. And we want to be able to understand the origins of consciousness. The L.E.O to do is allow for the brain to give our uniqueness the chance to express its own initiative. That's an awesome word. And that's what we can provide now. We've been doing it for a year last year, so now we can provide this at a larger scale for the whole world.
Neural wiring is our brain's ability to adapt, which is the greatest evolutionary attribute we have. It's not only essential for learning, but for happiness.